15, 20 to 24, and my theme is, when you feel lost, Jesus welcomes you back. Have you ever thrown something away that you later regretted? Have you ever felt ashamed of losing something valuable? Losing things isn't fun. Maybe you lost something that was really sentimental to you. You broke something that didn't belong to you. You misplaced something and knew it was going to get you into trouble. It's difficult to lose something that really matters to you, but it's even more difficult when you know it's your fault it's gone. You might feel sadness, guilt, embarrassment, anger, or shame. You might try to keep it a secret because you're afraid of what others will say, or maybe you just try to move on because remembering what you lost is too upsetting. Let's talk about video games. This time-inducing activity can keep you away from those who love you and out of the presence of the Lord. So what's keeping you away from the presence of the Lord? Today we're going to hear the story of a young man who lost everything because of his mistakes, and how we're sometimes a lot like him. Jesus told this series of stories to help the Pharisees see how wrong they were about themselves, others, and God. For the sake of time, I want to summarize Luke 15, 11 to 19. It tells the story of a young guy who decides he can't wait for his future inheritance, so he asks his father for family wealth up front. His dad agrees, and the son takes off to live it up big time. But when he blows through all his money super fast on wild living, he ends up taking a job offer feeding pigs. And he's so hungry, he even considers eating the pig food. Now here's what we miss if we don't try to stop to understand the context of this story. Remember, Jesus was telling this story to the Pharisees. These religious leaders saw pigs as unclean animals, forbidden by God. In order to be loved by God, they believed you could not eat any pork. The Pharisees would have seen this as a sin against God. While you might feel compassion for the son in this story, the Pharisees would have likely felt disgust. I think we can all probably find some things we have in common with this son. He was impulsive. He made a big decision, apparently without getting any guidance from others. He was hurtful. He may not have meant it in this way, but the son was acting in a hurtful manner. He was selfish. By not stopping to reflect on his actions, he might be hurtful to his family. The son was acting selfishly. He only cared about his great adventure and his money, not the people who loved him. He had thrown away everything that had been good in his life. He had lost his family, his money, his livelihood, and maybe even his faith. Because of his own bad decisions, he found himself disconnected from others and from God. He was probably filled with shame for what he had done and fear about what he needed to do next. Desperate, he decided to go home. Not as a son, but hoping to become a servant in his father's house. Luke 15, 20 to 24 says, while the son was still a long way off, his father saw him coming and felt sorry for him. So he ran to him and hugged and kissed him. The son said, Father, I have sinned against God and I have done wrong to you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, hurry, bring the best clothes and put them on him. Also put a ring on his finger and good sandals on his feet. Bring our best calf and kill it so that we can celebrate with plenty to eat. My son was dead, but now he is alive again. He was lost, but now he is found. So they began to have a party. What a response. Can you imagine being welcomed home like this? After wasting his money, disgracing his father, and bringing shame on himself and his family, the father, still filled with love and compassion for him, the father runs to his son to hug and kiss him. So when you've made decisions or mistakes that have led you far from God, I hope that you remember what the son in this story found out about his father. When you feel lost, Jesus always welcomes you back. Thank you.
Woo!